Hello, and welcome to another episode of Show Us Your Axe. I'm the Spaniard. Have you ever wondered what life would be like without the humble guitar? Well, I have. A rock and roller without an axe? Unheard of. A bluesman without an axe to cry? Or a country and western star without the twang? So welcome back to Show Us Your Axe. And what's the show all about, you'll ask? Well, it's about guitars, obviously, but more importantly, it's about your guitar. Each week we'll have a different player, they'll come on and we'll talk to them and they'll show us their pride and joy. But this week, we have a very, very special guest in Anthony Genge from The Undecided.
Hi, I'm Tony Stools, and I'm a lazy boy.
You must know what you're doing. I'm looking and I can't get through.
Oh, not you. Piss off.
Now, okay. When did you first get the urge as a young man to pick the guitar up? Because this is something that I've been asking a lot of people.
Well, look, I was about 7 years old and I was watching a show on TV and they had Bob Cook and Richard Moore, and they played a song called Outside Coals on a Saturday night and had a bit of a guitar riff to it, and that got me. I thought, I've got to learn how to play a guitar.
Beautiful.
Outside coals on a Saturday night. All up boys are looking right.
Are you in a band?
Yes, in The Undecided. We like quite a varied genre of music. We like our rock and a bit of country sometimes, and sometimes a bit of soul, but going well.
So, okay, Tony, so tell us about your guitars just behind you.
A couple of Kramers, both got Floyd Rose fully floating bridges, a tremolo, sorry. Great guitars. One's American, one is a Japanese version of it. This one being the American one, this one being the Japanese version.
Terry, Johnny Marr, is he on this episode or the next? The next? He's not? Oh, okay. Okay. And
So.
you played in a few bands leading up to The Undeciders, is that right?
Yeah, there's been a couple of bands, one Full House, and there was The Surge, the Rock Absorbers was another one. Been in a couple of bands.
I noticed that it's a little cooler over this side of the river than it is on the western shore.
Yes, I'm actually on the eastern shore.
Oh, let's start that again, shall we?
Yeah, we shall.
Yeah. Now, Tony, tell me, your guitar downstairs, you've named it Lucille. Why is that?
Look, that was named after my wife. As I love my wife, I love my guitar, and I thought it was an appropriate name to have for my guitar, so I'm pretty happy with that. Yep.
And your guitar, you said, was made by Mark Gilbert, is that right?
Mark Gilbert, he's here in Hobart.
It's made out of a type of Tasmanian myrtle, is that right?
It's made out of a couple of Tasmanian timbers, the main one being the Huon pine. The main front of the guitar is Huon pine, and the rest is myrtle and Tasmanian myrtle and blackwood.
It's a beautiful looking guitar, Tony.
And here's my piece of resistance, my most favourite guitar of all, named Lucille, and always kept under lock and key. Oh, g'day guys. Yeah, this is my pride and joy. This is a fully topped Hulme Pine and Myrtle Strat copy, made by Mark Gilbert, Master Lutheran. Absolutely magical guitar. It was just made for me, custom made. Cannot fault it. It's got all the good gear like the Goto heads. It's got the Dimeter amp, a freeway, which is actually 6-way switch for the different setups of the pickups. Yeah, cannot fault it. Love it dearly. Possibly the best guitar I've ever played. So yeah, very happy with it.
Now tell me, your other guitars, do you primarily use your Lucille guitar for your work, or do you use a combination of them?
Combination usually, but normally the end result of any recording we do, I like to use Lucille. Yeah, that's my favourite one, but the main workhorse, for working stuff out and everything, is the Strat, the Fender Strat. But very similar in playability, but the Gilbert just has that little edge on the Fender. A Ibanez bass that was left to me by a good friend. Not that I play a bass, but it's very handy to have around the studio when required. And then there's the Gibson, the Les Paul. She's the traditional. Haven't had this one very long, but great guitar to play. Okay, and we've got the two Strats. One's a Squire, the other one being a full Fender Strat. Great little workhorse, great for the studio, all rounder. She do love me Strats, love me Strats. We also have the Gretsch, and that's a Electromatic, single back pickup there. Not a bad little thing to play as well. Nice guitar.
Jerry, are we speaking to Keith in this episode or no? Next, okay, fine, yeah. So, Tony, I noticed that you live over here in Lindisfarne on the eastern shore of Hobart.
That's correct.
How long have you been over here?
I've been in this place for about 25 years.
Okay.
But I did primarily grow up on the eastern shore over here on the Gold Coast, yes.
The Gold Coast,
the
okay.
Gold Coast.
So you're assuming that the weather's a little warmer over the side of the river, is that right?
Well, we like to have this little bit of a competition between the west and the east, but I'm dead sure that's why they put the airport on the eastern side. It's a lot warm, lot warmer and drier.
Well, anyway, Tony, look, it's been fantastic catching up with you on our first show of Show Us Your Axe, which you have done. A wonderful Mark Gilbert guitar called Lucille. Thank you, Tony.
My pleasure.
We'll finish up. Bye for now.